What are your best traits as a person? So that's the question for today's reading today. Hello, my name is Sunny, and welcome back to my channel if you're not new, or if you are, hello. So, again, we have three piles. Pile 1 is on the left, pile 2 is in the middle, and pile number 3 is on the right side over here. So, maybe I should just move this a little bit, just so that there's less glare. There you go. So go ahead and stop the video if you feel like you need more time. Otherwise, skip to the timestamp in the description and I'll see you there. So I will start with pile number 1. So pile 1, I decided to have 2 cards for each pile, and your cards are first one, the King of Cups reversed. And and then you have the Chariot reversed. So, pile 1, no, sorry. I'm just gonna slide these because they're only gonna be moving, so I'd rather just move. Maybe center. There you go. So, pile number 1, what are your best traits? No, sorry. What are your best traits as a person? So I think overall, pile 1, I think you're a very introspective person. You're someone that kind of doesn't necessarily always keep to themselves necessarily, but someone that has a lot. People just notice your aura gives a lot of someone that's very deep and in depth and emotional, and it may not always, again, if someone's going to be a stranger, they're obviously not going to be able to see this, firsthand, but if they're within your vicinity and in a close relationship with you, they've communicated you more than once, and they slowly start to realize that conversation with you starts to get more deeper and deeper for your pile 1. I think overall you guys are maybe perhaps you have, not necessarily that you're opinionated strongly, but more so that you have a piece, you always know what to say and you know what to tell people. I guess when you have a conversation with people, it's always going to be entertaining, regardless if it's like a superficial conversation or more in-depth conversation, but more than likely the conversation will always steer into a place of having a very diplomatic response for you, pile 1. Overall, I think that you, pile 1, despite that, they can also tell that you might be slightly reserved with, your emotions, but that doesn't mean you're cold-hearted or anything. It just means they kind of have to work at it a bit. They have to work at it, not you, but more so if they want a more emotional response from you, because you not necessarily that you're cold, but you definitely protect that side of you for your own reasons, and you are very protective of that softer side. And if they want to reach that soft center, like the Tootsie Pop, no pun intended in a sexual way, I think that they have to really put in the patience in getting to know you, and for you to get to know them as a person, and judge for your own self as a character for each person that you interact with. So I think overall, pile 1, you are likely very considerate of others, and you don't like to make them feel uncomfortable if they have a conversation with you. You're very mentally stimulating, and I know this isn't a sword energy, or like cardinal, but wand, sorry. But I can sense that you guys have so much drive, but you kind of subdue it. It's like you like to hide that, so that maybe that's your ace of spades, I think, where only those that are very close to you get to see that. When you really want something, you'll go get it. Again, the Chariot is someone that can charge ahead, full on tunnel vision. And I think overall for you, pile 1, you have that, but it's only when it's utterly necessary that you will show that that side of you where you're very driven and you want it. You're gonna go strive for it and get it, but you're not gonna be somebody overly competitive, like in your face, like move, like you're not moving people aside. You you will be fair in competition, but you're someone that kind of takes your time. Like, you pick up your pace. Like, it's just, you take your time to pace yourself, and you don't get cocky. It's just someone that's very level-headed. You're a very level-headed pile one. You're someone that checks your emotions, your mental space. I feel that for you in your mental space, the best traits for you is that you as a person are very patient, very considerate, very introspective, and that can be conditional according to your scenarios, but it's someone that you attract people. Like, I think of bees, like, you have such a, not sweetness to you, but delicacy and softness, maybe to your words, to your actions, to your face, possibly a soft, youthful face, but I think it's someone that's very approachable. But again, you're not asking of others to approach you. They just kind of come to you because they feel that you bring off that energy, you exude that energy of, I want to help you. How can I help you? But you will help them as they kind of need it, you know? It's just, you know, a very just mature energy. You're very mature. Those are some of the best traits for you, Pile 1. You overall have great maturity, and you can be cold. That can be from time to time. But again, it really reads, you're someone that can read the situation according to what you need. So you can have someone that's a King of Cups, that's someone sweet and considerate and considers others, takes care of their family, takes care of their tribe, their kind. But again, a reversal can also mean, hey, I can bring this back to myself, not share with myself my creativity, my emotions, my heart, my space, and my mind. And I can bring that back to myself and not share it and just hoard it to myself. But I can also take that hand and be not manipulative, but harsh when I need to. And only when you hurt the people around is when that comes out. You're very protective. There you go. That's a very protective energy. It's like Mama Bear or Papa Bear. Again, that's you. Especially with the Chariot. Like the Chariot, someone that's just such a strong Aries energy. But again, it's just someone that's a big softie. Very, very big softie energy here. And people just come to you when they need like that assistance of like, I need comfort, and you're there. You're a very comforting person. Your energy is very comforting, very understanding, but also very diplomatic when it's needed. So I hope that helped Pile 1. Those are some of the best traits of you. I think that you stand your ground. You have very, I feel it's like, I know it's, the Cups is still kind of things we know, but fixed, strong, like just strong values for this pile. Very strong values, very coordinated, just very decisive, but in a great way. Mature, very mature. You must have taken a lot of things. You must have gone through a lot in order to get yourself to that place. So I hope that helped Pile 1. Select a different pile if you want to. I will start with pile number 2. So pile 2, this is a close-up of your cards. You have the Queen of Wands upright, and then you have the Page of Cups upright. So pile number 2, your best traits. The eccentricity that you exude. You have a very interesting mind, I feel. I think you're a very stimulating person. Wands and Cups. I just you have an air sign rising. It may be like a water moon or in a water house. Maybe earth sign placements, maybe fire, but it's just someone spunky. There's so much spunkiness into this pile. Eccentricity is just, I keep thinking of Geminis. Maybe Libras too. But again, I mean, you can also be Aquarius, but it just gives me this interesting, one-of-a-kind person. I keep thinking of, random, but I keep thinking of the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock, and her character herself is just a very quirky character. And then regardless of her more masculine side or feminine, she's still likable and approachable and talkative, kind of a smart ass, someone who's just keeps the conversation going, and you just know how to hit the right notes with people and just like talk here, talk there, and then you just bring that conversation out of people. You bring that thought process, you bring their opinions out. It doesn't matter if they're like negative or positive, but you really make people want to be playful. You just play with people. There's a playfulness to here. That's why I keep thinking of Gemini and even Aries. Like Aries can do that too. It's a little more aggressive, but Gemini is more like taunting. I just want to taunt you. I think of Loki too with Thor. It's a very mischievous energy, and I think that's more some of your best traits. You lighten up the mood, you lighten up the conversation, but you also know how to taunt people and just pick at them just at the right moments and places, so that they can express themselves, and you can express yourself as well in the process, right? I think it can also even be for this pile, some of the best traits is your self-expression and yourself. And the way I say this is a physical self-expression of your makeup, hairdo, accessories, tattoos, piercings, interesting eyewear, like colorful big glasses, accessories, watches, rings, bracelets. I also think of necklaces, long, interesting pieces, like statement pieces, even at that colorful statement wardrobe pieces as well, where it can go in one way, where it's like, I think of artists and art galleries also, where those people tend to, not those people, but in that scene, because you're so, not entranced, but you're familiar with so much creativity in art and color schemes and just palettes. You're just someone that dresses very well, or very, not minimal, but there's always a statement piece in you, a color, something that just pops, something that just stands out in your face. And that's what I feel for this palette. There's always something that kind of pops into others, like maybe it's just your coat, or you have like a sweater that's full on kitties and dogs and maybe llamas or something, like, and everything else is kind of subdued with like neutral colors. Or eccentric glasses. I also think of, I forgot Danny DeVito's character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I always mispronounce that, sorry. When he's like, I forgot the name, where he has white hair and like big glasses, I think of that. There's an eccentricity to how you express yourself. Maybe you have like Pluto and Libra or something, but someone that's just very fashionable but interesting. It's like the nanny in Fran Drescher in The Nanny. She just stands out. She's the lady in red when everyone else is wearing black or tan. I think that's what how the song goes. But again, someone that's very attractive. I mean, even if you think about it, like, I'm not such a big fan anymore of Gwen Stefani, but back in like her heyday of like No Doubt, before she started going solo, she started being very alternative, but she was always alternative, right? But her wardrobe was very inspired by a lot of Vivienne Westwood, if I'm not mistaken. So her pieces are just very, like, not bougie, but just, it screams like fashionable, but still edgy and alternative, very sarcastic and just fun. There's a funness to you. And that's what I feel for you, pile number 2. There's a funness to you. There's never a boring day with you. I think you're very fun and interesting. And maybe you have interesting footwear too. Maybe you could be someone that's always wearing like colorful shoes, heels, boots, sandals, shoes. It's just someone that's always keeping people guessing. You always keep people guessing, pile number 2, but you are also wise. You're someone that knows how to talk to people and taunt them, but in a mischievous way, and that's what's very attractive of you as a person. I think you are a very attractive person with these 2 piles, and you're very creative. It's just something, your creativity stems from you, from your emotions, and possibly that's how you express yourself, and your self-expression is expressed that way. But I also think you could possibly even have pets, small pets. You're probably into like having small pets, maybe rodents, maybe lizards, maybe chickens, maybe dogs and cats, just small little pets that you can probably likely often pick. They can probably, like, if there's an image of yourself, they probably imagine you with a small pet like next to you, especially because of the Queen of Wands with the little cat in the bottom. Possibly even esoteric and witchy. But I think that you are a very interesting person. It's just very... Pile 1 was magnetic in one way because they were approachable in that way, and I don't want to say too much about it, but in that nurturing way, mature way. This pile is very magnetic because they're enthusiastic about how to express themselves and self-expression. It's very mercurial. This pile is just very mercurial for me. It's just very fun. Eccentricity. It's just fun. But yeah, I think that's what stands out. Some of your best traits are just your creative projects, possibly, and that you share to the world, or how you express yourself. Maybe you're a writer, and that's what stands out also. People have write your stuff. I think either way, for some reason, I feel like this pile is very social media present, or, people just like to see, if they check up on you, it's because they like to see what you're doing. You have interesting hobbies, way of speaking, how you express yourself in these pictures as well, and possibly you have interesting wardrobe choices. Very youthful energy. Just mischievous. There's a mischievousness to you. Someone who's just quick-witted. You're quick with your words. Maybe there's some dry sarcasm with this pile, and that's what's kind of attractive, and some of your best traits as well, because you just know how to be coming up with those comebacks. It's like someone tells you that. I keep thinking of also like Mean Girls. Is it Janice, or I forget her name was Janet or Janice. I think it's Janice. And there's this guy, and she's in class, and she's like, I think she's talking with Damien, I think her friend, and basically some random guy in her class comes up to her and says, nice something. I forgot what it was, but she basically said automatically on the spot, like, your mom's chest hair. And that's what I feel with this pile, is that you're someone that's kind of very fast with your comebacks, and you won't let anybody pull a smart one on you. So those are some of your best traits. I also feel that you're someone that's you have a very good, in your mental space, you're someone that's very stimulating to talk to, but also you understand many complex scenarios, that you know how to give some of the best advice, because you have your hands a little bit everywhere, and because you've dabbled a little bit of here, a little bit in there, you've come up with like a concise response for people when they seek your opinion and truth. And it's a very interesting, unorthodox, out of the box always answers, because it's just in that aspect I feel like you have this Uranus there's something dynamic about your replies and your responses. I feel that's basically what I want to say. You could be strong Aquarius too, but it's just I keep thinking of Gemini because they're a little bit more not social, because they can be sometimes antisocial in that aspect, but someone that's just always on the go with their mind. They're always thinking 60 miles per hour in your mind, right? So very stimulating person, someone that's always like cracking jokes, possibly always on the next, looking for the next comeback, looking for the next funny thing to make light of situations, right? So I hope that helped pile 2. Select a different pile if you were attracted to. I will start with pile number 3. Pile number 3. These are the reasons, well, no, sorry. These are some of your best traits, pile number 3. So for your first card, pile number 3, you have, sorry, it's because I moved. So for you, pile number 3, you have the 7 of Wands. Upright. And then your next card is the Tower card, upright. So pile number 3, some of your best traits. I think you just bring chaos to people in the best way scenario. In the best way possible scenarios. Sorry. Just give me a moment, sorry. I wanted to take a sip of water. With you, pile number 3, you bring change into people's lives. And you're a very dynamic person. You're always someone that has rebirths. Like, there's endings and beginnings and cycles of you. So just when you think you're gonna have lows, you come up with the highs. Like, you have the lowest lows and the highest highs. And some of your best traits, I know that doesn't sound that appealing, but is that you're someone that can be a chameleon and be a phoenix. Basically, you're always coming out bigger, better, stronger, wiser, more mature, more in flow, and easy to let go of things. You're not so fixed. Like, maybe you started at that point at some point, and then as you age, you kind of go with it. You go with the waves. There's ins and there's outs. I don't know. I wanted to describe waves on the beach, but the waves come in with high tide and there's low tide. So you learn to be in the flow of cycles. You learn to be in the flow of endings and rebirth. It's just your persona just constantly changes. That people find you very interesting in that aspect, because just when they think they know you and they have you to, like, I forgot the word I was gonna say, but they have you already calculated and, like, in a box. There you go. You suddenly spring out of the box and jump into a new one, where they don't know how to classify you. Pattern number 3. So you're constantly a surprise for people. You're someone that's so interesting because you're always changing. It's like, I don't want to say a chameleon. I want to say a snake. A snake sheds its skin constantly. You're someone that sheds your skin constantly, because one day you can be this way, and not necessarily always the next day, but sometimes it takes a few weeks to a few months. You could be completely different. You have different philosophies. You have different lifestyles, self-expression, like clothing styles, like you move locations possibly as well, and you have different interests. You could possibly be studying different things all the time. Your lifestyle demands that you constantly have that change. It's a very open lifestyle where maybe you could be one of those people that lives in, like, van lives, or someone that travels a lot because of work, or someone that likes to express themselves differently, or have, like, maybe one day you're a vegetarian, the next day you're vegan, and then you're just paleo, or or maybe you're someone that's bodybuilding, or someone that's studying science, and then the next thing you know, you're doing food recipes. It's always someone that's always keeping so many interests and so many things at a time, but you are natural. Like, you make everything go in flow. So it's very interesting. I feel like you fight with a lot of competition and you make it look so easy. Or if you have not so many competitors, you're someone that for some reason, if there's people bad mouthing you, you're just like being a little salty, or someone, or, like, if they have interactions with you and they were salty because you rejected them, or they were salty because they wanted to make you look bad and take control, just take advantage of you as a person, like, things of those scenarios. Or women, if you have women or men that used to be friends with you as a man or a female, and they wanted to get close to you as a person because you do seem to me like you're a very attractive person, very active to me, if I may say so. But you definitely know how to put them in their place. I feel like, the man with the 7 of Wands has a stick. That stick is like pushing all the sticks back. So I feel you. I don't know why I think of Bruce Lee, but there's someone that, like, there's a clip. I think there's a clip. Sorry. Of Bruce Lee. Was it Bruce Lee? Yeah, it was Bruce Lee. Sorry. I feel like I'm questioning myself. There's Bruce Lee, like, playing tennis with nunchucks, I think. And I'm just like, this is you. You just, like, come in and just, like, you just, like, put those chomps into people, like, just so many hand movements, and you just, like, slap people's hands, like, get away from me. You're just that kind of person. Maybe not literally, but it's a figurative way of speaking, that you just know how to push them out. You just know how to push people out, the competition out. No one is you. You're just so different. And this isn't that I'm trying to say that you're unique, but it's just, you are unique, but it's not that far out to be. Every person is unique, but within the scope of how you might have been raised or the environment you were raised, you stand out because you decided not to conform to the same things as everybody else. You might have not chosen to have that 9 to 5. You might have not chosen to have that white picket fence and like a house, or get married and settle down and have kids. Like, you chose a different lifestyle. Doesn't mean it's negative, but they might pick at you solely for the reason that you chose to be different for, you know, your interests. You know, it's just your hobbies. You just like to be different. Not because you want to stand out purposely and be like, look at me, but it's just your heart wasn't in it. Your heart's in a different place, and they want you to maybe stick you into a box. And that's not necessarily you, pile number 3. I think you like to have many hats, right? I think that's how you say it. Be a jack of all trades. And I think that nothing is easy, but you bring a lot of fun into people's lives. There's so much renewals with you, and if you have people around you that want to be more romantically involved with you or have friendships with you, they have to be okay with you having the constant change and them changing with you. Not necessarily the same changes, but changing with you to become a better person for yourselves, right? Individually. So that's why those are your best traits. You require change from yourself and others. You push the competition out, and you push people out. You choose to ignore your quote unquote haters or the people that pick at you, your family members that kind of always want to nag at you for not wanting the same lifestyle they chose to, right? But again, modern times require modern solutions. I think that's the meme of the guy thinking, which I really enjoy. So I hope that helped. Pile number 3, those are some of your best traits. Select a different pile if you want to. Thank you all for listening, and please subscribe to my channel. It would help me out a lot. It's not mandatory, but it would. So thank you all for listening, and have a great day because you made it a great day, not because I told you to. Again, your work is your own reward. Thank you all for listening, and bye-bye.